What's going on, guys? So I just want to do a quick installation video of the new caliper bracket for the NCY, the dual forks. Basically the big difference for this is set up for the Gen 5. So with these forks you're going to be able to put the caliper on the left side, which a lot of people want to do to, you know, avoid the risk of the forks breaking, which is a common problem with the Gen 5. The previous version of the bracket, I noticed that if you try to do that, you try to flip the forks with the Roughhouse 50s, they rub against the frame. So with this eliminates that problem because the axle hole is actually in a different placement. It's centered, not offset like the other ones. So I'm just going to get right into it. It's pretty much just like the other bracket. A couple things change, so I just going to go over the whole installation and what to do. So just follow along, and if you have questions, just leave comments below. So first thing you want to do, you have to do, is establish the wheel centered, so you can determine what spaces you're going to need. So to do that, so I have a few spaces that I already cut all different sizes. So what you're going to want to do, try to get out the way. Just put your axle right in there. As you see, these are new rims. These aren't the Gen 5 rims, so that's why your space is going to be different. And on the kit, when you go to purchase it, I'm going to give you the option to choose different size spacers for the caliper depending on what kind of rim you're running. So the first thing I'm going to do, slide the axle, pull all the way through, establish what is centered with the rim. I'm going to try to get a different angle, mainly on this side. There we go. So all I'm doing is centering the rim and finding out what size rim space or wheel spaces I'm going to need. So pretty self-explanatory. Once you like the placement of the rim, it's going to take a little bit, you know. Take your time, try to get as centered as possible. It's a little offset, it's not going to kill anything, but obviously the centered the better. So I like that right there. Looks pretty even on both sides. So you see this gap right there? That's the size spacer that I need for the wheel. That size on that side, that size on that side. So like I said, I had a few made up from previous brackets and stuff like that, so I'm just gonna see what one will work. So and if you gotta use M12 washers, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever works to get it centered. I think, let's see, actually, just trying to find the combination. I'm just using these, just aluminum spacers that I made before. I think this combination is going to work best for me, but yours might be different, especially because I'm not using the factory rims. So, but the procedure is the same for both, regardless. For both, well, any style rim rather. So I think this size is going to be good for this rim. I mean for this side of the rim. So I'm gonna flip this around actually, because that don't belong like that. This actually belongs like this. So when you're installing this, don't forget to install your speed sensor. Hold on, let's slow down here for a second. Alright, so I established the spacing. I got my speed sensor. This is the new bracket. It's going to be a powder coated black. So the kit is going to look something like this. It's going to come up with this caliper spacers, all the hardware. The only thing you're going to have to do is figure out your wheel spacing. And you can use M12 washers or spacers you can get at Ace Hardware anywhere. So that's going to be, I wish I could add it to the kit, but everybody's going to be different, so I can't guess what spacing is going to work for you. But anyway, so you get your brake caliper bracket. You're going to put that right over here. Gonna be a speed sensor. Start your axle. Just go let it hang like that. Now you gotta feed everything through with the wheel spacers. I propped my wheel up because it's just easier to slide everything through. Get the axle bolt through enough, you can put the other spacers on. Looking like I need less spacing in the foot, so. And this is really just going to be trial and error. Ideally, you want to get it done the first time out, but there's a lot of wind. If you guys can't hear me, I'm going to do a dub over of the voice, but hopefully you guys can hear. I'm going to see if I have another size washer. Stand by. Okay, I just ran and grabbed the washer. So this is how I have mine. I have a couple spacers and one washer at the end. If I can focus in. But anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now that I got that spacer, I know that's how it sizes. I might just make myself a spacer. Just with some aluminum tubing or something. That side worked out pretty good. This one, got a few. Not a big deal. So now that that's all set, see, I didn't replace my axle bolt, but eventually I'm going to, but just for the video, you're just gonna have some extra threads on the end, so you're not gonna be able to tighten this all the way. So I'm just gonna throw a spacer on the end for now. tighten it up. So now this is the same thing as the other bracket. Now this is where it's going to be a little bit different, alright? So when you purchase this kit, you're going to have to determine the caliper spacing. And I'll give you a few options to choose from, and then I'll make the spacer for you for the caliper only. It's not going to come with the wheel spacers. But anyway, so you're going to put the hardware in. It's going to be a bolt, a lock washer, a regular washer. Now this is where it's going to be different. You're going to have to put a washer behind this bracket. Let me try to. So you're going to have to put a washer behind the bracket, in between the fork and the bracket, because there's a little a step down in there. So without this, the bracket's not going to sit flush. So it's going to slide right in like this. So I'm going to do that now. It's going to be one on the top and the bottom mounting bolts. One up here and one down here. You're going to do the same thing for both. You're going to put your bolt, slide that through, and then put your washer on the back of the bolt. Just like that. And that's going to make it sit nice and flush. That washer back there, going to be one up there, and then you're going to put the one at the bottom here. That's really important because the bracket will not sit flush without it because the way it's the fork step down. I think there's a piece of dirt. Now you're going to want to use Loctite. I'm just mocking this up just to basically show you. So because it's powder coated, you might have to force this one in a little bit, but it still sits in there nice. Now you got your two mounting bolts for the forks on. You put a washer at on the other end, and you put your nut on the other end. Make sure you use Loctite. It's your braking system. You don't want this coming off due to the vibrations that it's going to see. So you do the same thing for the bottom. Washer, nut. I'm going to give you a. When you order the kit, it's going to come with a basically picture instructions too, just in case you don't watch the video or whatever. So, like I said, I'm just hand tightening this. I'm not going to crank it down because this is just to show you guys how to do it. So now that you got that established, you're going to take this is the Gen 5 caliper. The distance between these two holes right here is about 1 3/4 of an inch center to center. So if your Gen 4 is that size, center to center hole spacing, the bracket will work for you. So just keep that in mind. But this was designed for the Gen 5 to put the brakes on the left side like everybody wants without rubbing. Alright, so now, very simple. Slide your caliper on there. So now you're going to have to figure out what size spacer you need as far as length is concerned. So to do that, with the distance that I'm talking about, is the distance between this flange right here. I don't know if you can see, right here on the caliper bracket, this flange to the inside of this bracket. That's the caliper spacing that I'm going to need to know to send you the proper space. This proper spacer, I should say. So on this one, see that? The space is going to slide right in there over. Well, the bolt's going to go through it, but I just want to show you. But this is the size that I need to know when you select your kit. So you can get that spacing once you get the forks. Just measure from, once you have everything centered, measure from the inside of this flange to the end of the forks. Very important. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. So you're gonna put your spacer on the back of your nut, or your bolt rather. Spacer on the back of the bolt. Now, install your caliper. Put some Loctite on these guys. Boom, just like that, you're good to go. I'm running an NCY caliper, so that's why I don't have my brake line or anything hooked up, but you just hook the brake line up like you normally would. You don't even have to take the brake line off, to be honest, but in my situation I did. So basically the kit is going to come with a lock washer and a regular washer to go on these bolts on the front end. So it's going to be a lock washer just like these, but I didn't use it in this one because these bolts are too short. I got to get longer bolts for you guys, but they will be in the kit. Everything will be plug and play. All you have to do is select the size spacer you want. I'm going to have a generic size that should work for everybody, but if yours is different, leave it in the personalization box what size you need. And that's it, dude. That's it. You're good to go. Once that's all set, obviously you tighten everything up, use blue Loctite, and you should be good to go. And you're not gonna have no rubbing. Well, that's about it for this video. Thanks guys for watching. It's gonna be a very simple install, so I didn't want to make it too long. Alright, thanks guys. Peace.